Recording in progress.
A very good evening to everyone. On behalf of Rajkiya Engineering College Kannauj, I, Medha Saxena, extend a warm and respectful welcome to all the dignitaries, distinguished speakers, faculty members, and participants connected with us today. It gives me immense pleasure to begin day 3 of our AICTE approved 6-day Atal Faculty Development Program on Emerging Trends UAV aided Next Generation Wireless Communication. The first 2 days have been filled with valuable insights and active participation. We now look forward to yet another day of learning, discussion, and intellectual exchange. To begin with today's session, it's my honor to introduce Mr. Prashant Pathak, a seasonal cybersecurity professional with over 11 years of experience in security operations, incident response, and automation. Over his career, Mr. Pathak has served global organizations such as HCL, Deloitte, and United Health Group, leading strong security teams and helping build robust cyber defense systems. Currently, he is associated with Ontinu as the SOC manager for the APAC region, focusing on threat detection, incident response enhancements, and integrating AI driven automation for smarter security operations. His dedication to safeguarding data privacy and empowering the next generation of cybersecurity talent through mentoring makes him a valuable resource for all of us. With great respect, I now invite Mr. Prashant Pathak to deliver his technical session.
Thank you, and hello everybody. Good evening. First of all, thank you for joining this call, and thanks for giving me this opportunity to talk in front of you. I'll quickly share my screen, and we'll talk about the cybersecurity only. As mentioned, that I'm now associated with cybersecurity since last 12 years, expertise in different tools, different departments in cybersecurity itself. And I'll be just talking about that thing only today, how cybersecurity is helping these industries, what is the future of work, AI, automation, and cybersecurity all together. Just allow me a minute. Let me know when my screen is visible to you so that I can proceed further. Thank you so much. And once again, thank you for joining this faculty development program session. Today, we'll explore a topic that is transforming every industry, every job role, and every educational institution. Right? The future of work shaped by AI, automation, and cybersecurity. Over the next 90 minutes, I'll walk you through how artificial intelligence is changing the way we work, how automation is helping to reshape the roles, and why cybersecurity is becoming the backbone of all modern securities and technologies. We'll also link this to real world security challenges, attacks, and all these things, and how the organizations like ours handle daily cyber threats. To begin with the agenda, here is what we'll cover today: the evaluation of work, how technology has changed the human roles, AI and automation overview, where we'll talk about what they really mean beyond the buzzword, right? We hear every time about the AI automation every day, but what it is actually and how it is helping us and the industries. AI in cybersecurity, the most important thing. The way technologies are evolving, the threats are also evolving, right? The threat actors are also evolving. They are also using technologies. and how these technologies helping us in cybersecurity to mitigate or contain the threats. Then we'll talk about the cybersecurity landscape or modern threat landscape, where how attackers are evolving, how they are working on these things. Then, of course, how AI and cybersecurity all together working, future skills and careers in cybersecurity, and then the last we'll talk about the we'll take the questions. Feel free to ask any questions anytime. If you have, you can put it in the chat, and I'll try to answer as many questions as I can in the end. Evaluation. I'm sorry. Evolution of work. Right now, we know that before COVID, we were working like we are just moving manually, but now work has evolved from manual labor industry, I would say 1.0, to automation and intelligence industries, which is the next version 4.0. Right, digital transformation, the cloud computing, IoTs, internet of things, mobile devices, remote work, and it has changed everything how companies are operating nowadays. A rise of cloud and IoT, right? Today, work is becoming knowledge driven, not repetitive, right? Uh, Earlier, we used to perform tasks like repetitive tasks every time, but with the help of automation and AI, we are just using the real talent. We are just avoiding the repetitive tasks. We'll talk about this more in the coming slides. Routine tasks are being automated, while human roles are being more analytical, investigative, and creative. Right, and this shift is what brings AI and automation to center of modern workplace. What is AI? We hear like every day we are hearing we are using AI tools like ChatGPT for communications, right? We are rewriting of things. We are using ChatGPT for multiple things, right? For changing the pictures, for creating the videos. But what it is not a magic, right? It is simply a machine learning pattern from data and making decisions. Some codes working at the background and helping you guys to develop your thoughts. It is learning from us and providing the valuable outputs to us. There are several disciplines inside AI: machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, and computer vision. Tools like ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, autonomous systems, recommendation engines. These are the practical examples of AI already part of our everyday lives, right? Every day and everyone is using AI nowadays. I know, like for completing a project, a task given by the teachers or faculties, we can easily, go to any AI system, be it ChatGPT or Copilot or any other AI. We can just go there and ask AI to provide us the solutions. We can even take the interviews. I have seen uh, many examples where when I interview people, they just take help from AI. They just open AI, they just record the voice of the interviewer, and then AI answers the questions, and then they just read it and reply to the interviews or to the questions, which is not a good practice, of course. At the end, we get to know, the interviewer get to know, like how smartly you are using all these tools. So make sure that we are using all these tools to just learn new things, not to in any bad practices. Automation. This is another term, automation in modern enterprises. AI is a learning platform which is learning from data. Automation is something which is, which has the ability to take repetitive tasks, right? Rule based tasks, and it lets the software handle them. Something which, needs needs to be completed every day at the same time. You can just put the automation in there, and it can just, help you, right? RPA, the robotic process automations, it is being used in the industries, right? It automates the structured processes, while intelligence automation, and this combines the RPA and with AI. So it can, handle the repetitive tasks, as well as it can just provide you the other inputs, the intelligent automation. Now, in SOC, what is SOC? SOC is a security operation center, the first line of defense in cybersecurity. So in SOC, we get the alerts, notifications about the threats, about the attacks, about the anomalies, and we respond to them. Now, how automation is helping us? It is helping us to triage the alerts, enrichment. When I say enrichment of the alerts, providing the basic details like the entity details. It can be the username, right? The IP addresses, the domains. We don't need a person to enrich the alert details now. We can just, take a help from the automation, and it can just provide us the details on our incident itself. It helps with the repetitive commands where I need to, every time create a ticket for something, I can just automate it. And it can just, every time when something comes into the pipeline, it can create a incident. Containment actions. Everything can be automated. And how this is helping? This saves the time, right? Reduces the human error. Human can overlook the basic details, but automation or AI would not. Also, it allows analysts to focus on actual investigation. Earlier, where in security, where the analysts were, putting 30 to 40 minutes to uh, enrich the alert, putting uh, into the incident itself. Now, in matter of seconds, the automation is doing it, and analysts are working on the actual investigations. They are looking how exactly things are happening, how attacker, tries to infiltrate the systems and all these things. So they are focusing on the actual investigations, and this is how it is helping us. AI transforming industries, like, AI is everywhere, in healthcare, in finance, fraud detections, right? Nowadays, even Gmail, in everything we are using these automations and AIs, right? Nowadays, when you click on something, your WhatsApp, your Gmail account, gives you a notification that it is not safe. Are you sure you want to go further? Because this is something, they have the database, they are taking the help from threat intels, and they are just analyzing the email and providing you the details if you really would like to proceed further with that. The Truecaller, the best and simple example. Everyone is using Truecaller nowadays, right? It's again a database, right? You call someone, it will pop up the name of that particular person that you are calling someone. A lots of database, and they are just taking out that database and helping the uh, the other population. Manufacturing, right? In productive maintenances, in other, Robotic industries, in manufacturing industries, we are using automations, AIs, to perform their tasks, to provide them better ideas, right? It learns from us and then it gives the better version of our thinking. So if we give, AI three thoughts, and if we ask, give me, which is best, it will give you all the details. Why, the comparison between all three, your point of views, and then it will choose you the best from that as well. How it is helping the cybersecurity threat detection and response. We'll talk about that in the upcoming slides. Cybersecurity landscape. Nowadays, there is a increased in digital attack surface. Can be wishing, phishing, it can be, a ransomware, it can be anything. If you are connected with the technology, you can be attacked anytime, right? Now we are using cloud, right? Cloud first and the hybrid environments. Earlier, we used to have the environments which are on premises. So only the people who are on the premises can access them. Now we have everything on cloud, even your photos, your pictures, right? Everything is on cloud and it is accessible from everywhere. It is a good thing, right? It is a good thing that I can access my data anytime from anywhere. But what if someone else also can access that, right? And it is happening. It is happening every day. In last 12 years, I'm seeing attackers out being smart. Even they are using these tools and technologies more than us. APTs, advanced threats, ransomwares, APTs, supply chain attacks. They are being, it is the AI is being used in all these attacks. That's why it needs the continuous monitoring. And how? Why AI matters in cybersecurity? Excuse me. In cybersecurity, AI is no longer optional. It is essential. Why? Because attackers are faster, tools are more complex, data volumes are massive. Now, the thing is, in cybersecurity, you have to have a knowledge of everything, right? It can be cloud, it can be firewall, it can be a mobile device, it can be an endpoint device, it can be Azure, it can be AWS security systems, anything and everything which is connected with the internet, you should have a knowledge for it. And it is quite impossible for an analyst to have the knowledge of everything. So how AI is helping us? In many ways, detecting anomalies which human may miss, we talked about, right? Something which a human can miss or human can overlook, AI would not. It is also helping us to reduce the alert fatigue. And when I say alert fatigue, the false positive alarms, right? And we see every day, like in SOC or in cybersecurity, 80 or 90% you would see the false positive or benign positive activities. False positive is something which is, which seems to be malicious, but it is actually, a legitimate activity. And we see all these things every day in our SOC. So and in that AI is helping us. It is just, evaluating the alert by checking multiple things. You can just, put the playbooks or other things, and it can check everything for you, whether it is a repetitive activity from this customer, this client, the behavior based analysis, right? uh, if someone is working from this to this time, let's suppose 8 to 5, Now, one fine day, the user logs in after 11 p.m., right? Alert generates, right? Because it is like the person is logging in after the office hours. Now AI would check it. Earlier, we used to check it as a SOC analyst that why this person is logging in, what is he doing at this time, multiple things. But now AI is doing it for us. It will check, is this a legitimate activity? If a person logs in after the work hours, can be multiple reasons. There can be multiple reasons, right? Maybe something related to work. Maybe he has to send some files. He has to do some work. Anything. Now AI would check the sign-in logs of that user. Is he logging in from the same device where he logs in every day, right? Is he doing something, something extra apart from your his day-to-day jobs? Okay. What else? What else we can think of? It can check every possible things which you ask AI to do it. So we will be scheduling few playbooks in the AI, and we'll be asking AI to perform all these checks. And if it seems to be or finds to be a legitimate activity, everything is on green check, you can proceed further and close the alert. Now it is saving 30 minutes of an analyst, right? The same task which the analyst would be doing, now AI is doing it for us. The automation is doing for us. It is identifying zero-day attacks. It is just immediately doing the behavioral analytics and alerting the SOC, and then SOC is doing the investigation on it. It is understanding the user and entity behavior. As I said, it checks the user behavior, right? It checks of, it is learning from us, right? It is monitoring how Prashant logs in every day from the logs, right? Prashant logs in at 8 a.m. and logs off at 5 or 6. Every day the same pattern is Prashant is following. Next 30 days AI will be learning from that, what Prashant works, what is his daily routine or daily activities or daily job. Okay, Prashant comes in, does all these things, maybe checking the reports, checking the mails, and all these things. It save all these things in the data. And now when Prashant logs in after the working hours and doing some activity which Prashant should not be doing, AI would immediately take the action on that. What actions AI can take? We'll talk about that in the next slide. How AI can help, mitigating or containing the threats immediately. We have platforms like Microsoft Sentinel, Defender, XDRs, which are, built around the AI-driven detections, behavioral-based detections. AI in SOC operations. In SOC, analysts deal with thousands of alerts, most of the time false positive alerts. But with the help of AI, now AI is helping us to reduce the noise by identifying which alert is truly, which alert truly matters, which should go for the SOC and which should be closed. User and identity behavior analytics, UEBA, uses machine learning to find any unusual pattern. AI, enrich the alert with contexts, automatically runs the playbooks which are provided by the SOC or the engineers, of course, and then it helps the analyst to focus on investigating the right incidents instead of closing or working on benign positive or false positive incidents. It is now helping SOC to work on the real incidents, and this is how modern SOC teams operate. This is how Ontinu operates. Automation for cyber defense. The SOAR platforms like Logic Apps with Sentinel, automated responses it allows. How it is helping us? It is helping with, it can just take the immediate actions. Auto isolated compromised device. Playbook is being run, running on the devices, on the endpoints already, or on the SIM tools already. Now, uh, when something comes in and automation, the predefined playbooks or the AI thinks that this is a suspicious, activity from the user side. Now, it will take time for the analyst. Let's suppose there is an alert comes in, right, for ransomware or for something, where the actor or the threat actor or the attacker is already onto the system, and all of my SOC analysts are already working on the incidents, and the incident which came in is, has a 4 hours of SLA, the service level agreement. That means you have 4 hours to work on that incident. But if it is an actual incident, it can create, attacker can create multiple things, can create, inject the DLLs, inject, start the lateral movement, can move into the environment in these 4 hours. And it was happening, it used to happen in the past. I've seen many cases where these automations and AI was not working, and uh, attack attacker got the access for an endpoint, a normal workstation, right? And from that, he was able to get the admin privileges, and with that he was able to, start the lateral movement, moving laterally from one system to another system. And in next 2 hours he was able to access the server. And unfortunately, after when we started working on that incident, it was too late for us, and we had to just isolate everything. We had to just contain everything from the network. Now when automation is in the picture, we have predefined playbook. If we see anything, matches with these keywords, with these playbooks, right? A playbook runs, as I said, checking the sign-in logs, multiple things it is checking, right? The prevalence of the file, if it comes with the file, if it is a phishing email, checking the domain, the URL, the IP, sender, and everything. If it finds it suspicious, it can immediately isolate the device, contain the device from the, or from the network. Now you can wait, right? You can wait for 2 to 3 hours because attack is already contained. Now you can just start the investigation and provide the root cause, how it happened. But attacker would not be able to move further. It can even reset the user sessions or reset the password. If automation or AI thinks that, it is fishy, and we should immediately reset the passwords. It can force reset the password on the user account, and then user would need to change the password. And it is matured enough. Like you may say that what if it does it on every incident? It can impact the operations. But no, the AI and automation is being smart every day. And now I would say 40% of alerts in Ontinu, in my organization, in SOC, 40% of alerts are being closed by automation and AI itself. And it's a huge count. It's a huge count. Even AI is smart enough now, it is taking the actions. It is just, take doing the investigation, taking the actions, and then escalating it to the customer itself, that these are the actions we have took already on this. uh, we have just, reset the passwords, everything, and now we need you to take these actions if we are not allowed to do so. And later on the analyst can work on it. Even automation or AI is running the hunting queries. You just need to provide the predefined queries, and you can just run them weekly, every day, every hour, every month, whenever you would like to. It is creating tickets for you. You don't need to manually create the incident. But the main thing we need to, understand here, that we are hearing a myth that automation or AI may replace, the humans. It would not. It can never replace the humans. It doesn't replace the analysts. It removes the repetitive tasks. So human can handle the complex decisions. It is making human smart, right? It is, letting human work on the real things instead of working on repetitive tasks. You must have seen the automated calls, right? Sometimes it is frustrated, but it is now handling 70% of calls load, and all these things are being, worked in different departments or different areas like cybersecurity and all. Risk and challenges, as we say, with great power comes great responsibilities. AI can, of course, introduce risks, by training data, adversarial attacks, privacy concerns. If you are putting anything in there, you just, if you are using AI, right? And if you are using AI for last 30, 90, or maybe from 1 year, do one thing, just ask AI and just, put a command or say that, hey, can you tell me about myself? Believe me, it can give you a better introduction of yours. It can give you what you think. It can give you what, do you do, what is you are doing right now and what you will be doing in future. It can provide you each and everything. And it's a breach of privacy, data privacy. It is, right? But as we say, like, if we are using all these things, we need to, know that what things we should provide to AI or to open sources. The misuse of AI. If you are using your, projects, or taking help from AI on your projects, on your interviews, on your assignments and everything, there are bad actors available as well who are using, these AI to generate attacks, deep fake attacks, cloud attacks, automated phishing attacks. It can send thousands of emails in a few seconds, right? So we we are nowadays, I've seen that we are, over depending on automated systems. We are just, going to AI for anything and everything. Even we are doing searches on AI instead of Google. And AI can never be, it is always not right. AI must always be augmented with human judgment. You should decide what things AI should know about you. Impact on workforce, the biggest question, right? Automation is not taking jobs. It is not eliminating them. It is transforming jobs, right? It is, removing the routine activities. It is coming with new strategies. When you don't need to work on repetitive tasks, you have plenty of time to work on other things, right? To make yourself aware, available for other things, for reading the newspaper, for reading the books, uh, for keeping yourself updated. And it is how, AI is helping nowadays. Humans are now decision makers, investigators, problem solvers. AI is taking care of the mechanical tasks. It is doing what we are asking it to do. We are still the decision makers. We are still the investigators. We are still the problem solvers. We don't need to afraid of AI. We don't need to afraid of working of automation and AI. We should uh, learn from AI. We should learn with AI, and that's how it can help us to grow in our future. And believe me, as soon as you adopt this technology, it will be easier for you uh, in every way. Just start using these all tools and technologies in right way. What are the future skills which are needed? Well, to prepare the students for the future, these are the five critical skills or domains. AI literacy. We need to read about AI. We need to learn about AI as much as we can. If you would like to learn AI with cybersecurity, how it is helping, right? You need to first learn the cybersecurity fundamentals, the basics of cybersecurity, the cloud security, especially these Azure, AWS, Google clouds. Pick any of the cloud and start learning about that. Take help from AI. See how AI works. Data analysis, Python and KQL. This is how it's all, the AI works on all these things. The automation, logic apps and so on. You know, I personally think technologies are, evolving every day. We should also, focus on all these things. And I personally think it should be the part of curriculum because industry demands them. And trust me, when we hire, when we hire interns or we hire, people in our organization or in any other organization, we see, students are really focusing on these things. They are well aware about the uses of AI. They are aware about the cybersecurity. They are well aware about the Azure. So I know, and it is good that students are focusing on all these things. Curriculum needs to change because we have evolved in technology a lot, but we are still studying, uh, the old books. So we should definitely focus on that. We should focus on how it can help us on that. There is a huge demand for cybersecurity professionals, and uh, the way technology is evolving, we would need cybersecurity, and it is there. It will be there for next 100 years or even more than that. Because when there is a new technology, there is a risk. There is a cyber risk on it. What careers a student can choose in that? It can go to SOC analyst, right? A threat hunter, AI security engineer, cloud architect, automation engineer, and whatnot. Red, blue, purple team specializations. They can work on it. The future of work. We talked about this, right? The future is not AI versus humans. It is AI with humans. We both need to work together. We need to evolve ourselves with AI. AI gives the scale, right? It gives the ability to work, and human give judgment, creativity, and ethics. You will see, careers will increasingly blend with cybersecurity and AI skills, and making professionals far more effective on that. So we need to focus on learning AI, cybersecurity, and we can, of course, this is right now the demand. This is what the organizations are looking for. I know when I was in college, it's like 12 years ago. When I was in college, I didn't know about all these, cybersecurity terms. I never heard SOC, and I'm sure many of you, you know, even would not be aware of SOC. What is SOC? Because I know I was also not aware what is SOC, what is, endpoint security, what is firewall security. I think everyone knows, but yeah, these are the things which we don't know. Should be in the curriculum, the AI, how it is working. It should be there. When I joined, my first organization was HCL, and then I heard a lot of new things, a lot of new keywords there, a lot of new technologies, right? Uh, the identity access management, the cyber security, the endpoint security. Even in security, we have a lot of departments. We have uh, SOC, Security Operations Center, the first line of defense. We have endpoint security. We have firewall security. We have threat hunting. We have pen testing. We have red team. We have blue team, purple team. We have security engineering. Uh, and others as well. And what do we need? Just the basics of cybersecurity. We can choose any of the role. We should know the basics if we would like to proceed further with that. The summary: how AI and automations are transforming the work. It is helping us every day. We don't need to afraid of this. We don't need to afraid of AI. We didn't. We just need to know how to make a good use of it, how it can help us, how it can help us in our daily activities, right? How it is working, how I can just, learn from it. And the main and important thing, what things should I provide to AI? Do I need to, give every details? Of course not. We should provide all these things. And when we, use take help from AI, we just let our analysts know that we should not be using AI for providing the customers data. You know, we should not providing the personal data. We should not providing all these details to the AI. Just take a basic help from it. You might not know what this attack means, right? It is, of course, not uh, feasible or normal to know the every attack which is going on in the environment. We can be aware. We can just, use the open sources and all these things, but we might overlook anything. If there is an alert triggers, you can just, take help from AI and ask the AI what are the key features of this attack. Just tell me in few lines. It can provide you the basic details, and then you can just, work on your incidents. When it comes to the students or to the faculty, you need to, let your students know that if even they are using, do not ask them to, do not use AI for your work. Let them use it, but just make sure they are using it correctly. They know how to use it. And if you know how to use AI automation and all these things, then you can just make anything and everything easy for you. Cybersecurity, with we are talking, we always talk about AI, automation, and all these things. We never talk about cybersecurity. But cybersecurity is more crucial than ever. Now, technologies are evolving. We should let our analysts, let our students know that we can even focus in cybersecurity. There are lots of jobs available, and we do not have, people to join this industry because of, lack of knowledge, lack of basic understanding of cybersecurity. There are lots of posts available in the market. There are lots of, positions open in the market for cybersecurity. But of course, now the organizations are also, looking for someone who can go beyond AI and automation, because AI and automation is doing the minimal work already. AI is doing the basic enrichment, automation is doing the basic analysis on the incidents. They need someone who knows the detailed analysis, who knows everything of, if you are working on a Windows device or a client, they should know how, what Windows, how Windows works, what are the registries, DLLs, what are the basic, concepts of all these things, how cybersecurity works, should be aware of latest threats. There are, lots of websites available, open source available, where you can just read about these these practical attacks or scenarios happening every day. The Aadhaar card data breach, you must have heard of it. The Log4j, right? If you are from, BTech or CSE department, then you must have heard of this Log4j attack. uh, there are a lot of, attacks happening every day, and we in cybersecurity are preventing our customers. The most important thing, AI enhances, not replaces. It can never replace the human expertise. We are the one who created this tool or this technology. Now we are, the way the AI is evolving, we need to evolve. We need to learn new things, and we need we need to, let the AI know that this is what you need to do. This is how you need to perform your things. AI should not let us know that what next step you should be taking. We need to prepare for new age career essentials, and this is what the the next step. If you would like to move further in cybersecurity, you must know the basics of cybersecurity. You must know the basics of your students must know the basics of cybersecurity, must know the basics of AI, the utilization of AI, how to utilize the AI properly, how it can help us. And that's how we can just, maybe uh, grow, maybe can, prevent, take jobs in cybersecurity and whatnot. Just we need to take the right decisions. Well, I would also talk about the SOC a little bit, the Security Operations Center, how it works, and what are the jobs, roles, and responsibilities in SOC, uh, and how a student can learn to proceed further in SOC or in cybersecurity. SOC is nothing but it's a Security Operations Center, the first line of defense, right? So we work on tools where we get data. It's a SIM tool, security, incident, and event management. By the name, it says incident and event management. It manages the logs, right? So it takes the logs from all the endpoints, be it firewall, be it any endpoint, server, mobile device, IoTs, anything and everything. It takes the logs into it, right? It collects the logs, it merges the logs, it processes the logs as well, and then it provides you the data. It has everything. Now it works based on the rules. So if I just want to see an alert, let's suppose, give me an alert where Prashant, or any of the employee logs in after the work hours, or maybe give me an alert when any of the user clicks on a phishing link, right? Or maybe give me an alert where any of the user downloads a data from an unknown source or from an open source website. And that's how it works on the rules. The security engineering team, a different team in SOC, creates the rules for it. And when the rule is created, it starts giving us the alerting. And we, as a SOC analyst, defenders, I would say, start analyzing those alerts. We look, check, analyze, and check for the root causes on those alerts, and then, of course, uh, prevent the customers every day. The basic tools we are using, the Microsoft tools are available, Microsoft trainings are available for cybersecurity. If you would like to, if you would like to share it with the students, uh, the Microsoft suite, the Ninja training for Microsoft. It is freely available on Microsoft website. The Ninja trainings you can just put in there. Even for clouds, it is there. Even for security, it is there. The SIM Ninja, the Defender Ninja, the Cloud Ninja, and these are freely available. And it will be a good start for the students or for someone who is looking, further to move in cybersecurity. The basic networking you should know, of course, which you are already studying in the CSE department, the OSI models, the TCP/IP model, and all these things. With that, few tools, and that'll be all, I guess. So yeah, that is all from my side today. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm happy to answer your questions. Or if you would like to like me to talk on any other topic, or would like me to explain anything else, let me know. I can explain it. I'm just going on chats so that I can see if there are any questions, and then I can just look into those and take it from there. Of course. So I got a question from Anita Matre, a Microsoft tool use case. What kind of use case you would like to, me to explain? In SIM, we create the use case, as I mentioned. Uh, Depends how you would like a Microsoft to respond. You need to create the rules. If you would like Microsoft to to alert on data exfiltration, you can create the alert on it. You can just put the details in there. Maybe if it's a kind of I cannot talk about the KQLs, but we use the KQL. It's a different KQL. It's not not the SQL, so you should not mix it up. The Costo query language, it's a own Sentinel language which the engineers use. They create the rules. They first need to check the tables, right? So as I said, it takes the data. Am I on mute? I think I'm not. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Well, Anita, can you hear me? I can, in the meantime, I can also provide you the Ninja training links. So that can also help you if you would like to learn more about these virtual trainings. Just give me a minute. These are the links which you can, and these are freely available. So you can just, start learning about Microsoft tools. Microsoft is, it is every day, continuously evolving and working on new technologies. And mainly, Microsoft now focuses uh, on the security part. So these are the few links which you can, of course, take. You can start learning from these, and uh, you can feel free to reach out to me anytime. I'm available on LinkedIn. You can ping me there. I might not be able to reply you immediately, but I'll for sure reply you maybe after some time, or as and when required, as and when I'm free. Any other questions from anybody? We still have 20 minutes. We can utilize those 20 minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to ping on the chat, and we can just discuss, or I can talk about all these. Maybe I will try to clear the doubts, or will try to take the questions. But believe me, cybersecurity nowadays, it's a hot topic. It's a hot uh, job which does not have good candidates. So it it will be good to push the students, in the field of cybersecurity. They can start learning from that, with the basics. They can apply for the internship and all these things, and then how Microsoft Edge browser handle endpoint security. So endpoint security is a different thing, and Microsoft Edge browser is a different thing. Endpoint security means a desktop, right? Any endpoint, my laptop, right? Your device, your mobile phone, any IoT, Internet of Thing, technology enabled AC, uh, anything which is connected with the internet, we call it as an endpoint, right? So we do have a endpoint security provided by Microsoft Defender, which we call it as a Microsoft Defender for endpoint. Now, you must have seen on your personal laptops as well. Microsoft gives you notification that we have seen a we have seen a virus in your uh, on your personal device, or maybe some basic details. We in the enterprise level of Defender, we have the more access. Now when we install the Defender on the user's machine, and it is compulsory to have a, a Defender for an endpoint installed in the enterprise device, or any device which is connected to the organization's internet, or to the organization's network, I would say. It has to have a Defender for endpoint installed on it. Now, in SOC, we can and we do have the access to that device. We can check anything and everything of this device or of that device. The timeline, of course, not in a proper format, but in the logs format. What user is doing, what he or she is accessing, the browsing data, the email, what time the user has, accessed the emails. Then there are other things, registries, DLLs in the forms of logs. We can check it. We can check the vulnerabilities on that, and we can check whatnot, everything on that particular uh, endpoint device. And that's how we just monitor it. And when required, if we see any alerting on it, we just no, Edge browser is normal, a normal browser like Chrome or other browsers. It's not related to edge computing. It's a normal browser. The Microsoft has given it. The next question from Rahul: Microsoft Copilot is now a strong AI chatbot, and how it works. Well, it as I said, it works, on the commands, right? It first it you know it does the machine learning. It creates the database. The Microsoft team or the developers creates a database. It monitors every day everything, right? So let's suppose if I'm using Copilot or a Chat GPT or any other AI. Copilot is already installed on Windows devices, most of the devices. So it is every time, every day, whatever you are doing on your machine, it is taking that data, it is inheriting that data, and then it is now collecting the data, and based on the other Python codes, it is providing you the further results. Again, AI is learning from you, is learning from your data, and now providing you results with the help of developers who are creating Python based codes. And that's how it is providing the other details or other learning methodologies in there. I hope I'm able to answer your question. Everything, AI, automation, everything works on the pre-built commands. It can be Python, it can be uh, anything, right? A database, machine learning codes, and it can take your data and can provide you the details. So it is taking data from you and providing you the details. That's it. Nothing more than that. but it is providing you the data smartly. That's the interesting fact. Perfect. Anything else? Any other questions, guys? Perfect. Thank you so much for the time. And thank you so much for attending this session and giving me your precious time. I hope I was able to deliver something valuable which can help you in future. And yeah, feel free to reach out to me if you need anything, any help or guidance or any kind of course material to study. I can and I will try to help you with that.
Thank you very much, sir, for such an enlightening and highly insightful session. Your practical expertise and perspectives on cybersecurity and artificial intelligence have truly added substantial value to this faculty development program. Thank you for sharing a valuable time. It was a complete honor and privilege to have you today with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. See you.
Thank you, sir.
Participants, let's have a small 15 minutes break and rejoin at 7:30.
Okay, okay.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
Welcome back, everyone. We now move on to the second technical session of the day. It is my privilege to introduce our next distinguished speaker, Dr. Arun Prakash, Professor, Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering at MNIT Allahabad. Dr. Prakash brings with him extensive academic and research experience in the field of wireless and mobile communication, cognitive radio networks, vehicular networks, resource allocation for 5G and beyond, dynamic spectrum access, IoT networks, and other advanced communication technologies. His ongoing work and depth of knowledge in modern communication systems make him a valuable speaker in our exploration of next generation wireless communication frameworks. With great respect, I now invite Dr. Arun Prakash to address the gathering and deliver his second technical session.
Thank you so much. I hope I am audible to everyone.
Yes, you are.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So let me share the PPT, which is our vehicle assisted communication system. So is my screen visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So physical and medium access control for UAV added unmanned aerial vehicle added wireless communications challenges and some solutions which I am going to discuss here. I basic things about the UAV communication has been already discussed and debated in this FDP. So this UAV assisted communication is usually unlike your conventional stationary infrastructure. So it is, since it is a kind of moving infrastructure thing, so it allows for different type of advantages like high scalability and improved line of sight connectivity. So line of sight connectivity is very, very important in case of, and also scalability considering the today's era of IoT, where thousands or more than more devices need to be connected to the internet. So today's era is an era of IoT where we want to connect each and every device to the internet. So providing connectivity to the huge number of devices is of utmost importance. So for UAV assisted communication, these are some of the use cases. So as I said, first of all, IoT support for Internet of Things, Obviously, ad hoc operations for disaster management, where it is very difficult to establish a network in the areas where some disaster has taken place. So then with the help of UAV, it will become very easy to create a network. Then search and rescue operations, surveillance, and road traffic monitoring. So these are some of the use cases. So there are a number of use cases and application of UAV assisted communication. So I listed here some of the important use cases. This picture basically depicts a typical UAV assisted scenario where from transmitter to the receiver, different type of signals will be received by the receiver, which may include line. So am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there was some problem in getting my audio, right?
Yes, sir. Now is it okay?
It is fine now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the slide is visible to everyone?
Yes, screen is visible, sir. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. So I was basically telling about the typical scenario of UAV assisted communication. So this picture shows a scenario where you can see different type of waveforms reaching to the receiver, which include line of sight, non-line of sight, the signals through different physical phenomena like reflection, diffraction, scattering, and different multipath components are shown in this picture. So UAV assisted communication is going to make the things very good in terms of scalability, in terms of different use cases which I discussed here. But at the same time, because of this different type of signals received by the receiver, we have challenges also. And this challenge becomes more difficult, especially because this UAV is mobile. So mobility also comes into picture. The things are no more static at all. So because of the mobility, the time delay spread and Doppler shift, these will be very, very dominant. So now if we talk about the physical layer requirements, so UAV assisted networks have to be extremely robust and high speed response. As I said, because of the mobility, high speed response becomes very, very important. So the physical layer must be scalable, considering the today's era of IoT, especially. We have to consider huge number of devices for providing connectivity. It must be reliable, low latency because of the mobility involved. And as we all know that we wish to have as much data rate as possible. as per the required minimum bit error rate. And we all know that this bit error rate is the prime, you can say, the performance parameter of any communication system. And this bit error rate is, we cannot fix one bit error rate for all type of applications. For example, if we talk about, say, for example, the voice transmission and data transmission, so the bit error rate requirements are very, very different. In voice transmission, usually the bit error rate of up to 10 raised to the power minus 3 is sufficient to maintain. While in case of data, the bit error rate requirements are quite stringent. So minimum of 10 raised to the power minus 6 is required in case of data transmission. And the reason is very, very simple. Because in case of voice transmission, it contains some form of intelligence. So even if some erroneous data or erroneous signal is received, so it can be understood that what has been said from the other side. But in case of data as such, there is no intelligence. So higher bit error rates are to be maintained. So these are some of the requirements for the physical layer. Then what are the challenges? The challenges are, we all know that if we start from the very basic thing, that most of the things are wireless, because it makes the designing of a network and establishing a network very, very easy. But it also brings the different challenges along with its easiness. So the difference between wired and wireless is the characteristics of the channel remains constant, or we can say it is time invariant in case of wired channel. And that is why the wired channel is considered to be a channel or a kind of stable channel, because the characteristics are not going to be changed with respect to time. While if we talk about a wireless channel, the channel characteristics keep on changing with respect to time continuously. So it is a time invariant channel. Now, because, what may be the what is the basic reason of this? The basic reason of this is multi-path, which I have shown in this, right? So when the transmitter transmits a signal, multiple copies of the same signal will be received by the receiver, right? So now multiple copies will be received, so there will be time delay in the different received signals, and that results in different phase shifts. So now you all know the constructive addition and destructive addition of the signals. So if they add constructively, signal power will become better or increase. But unfortunately, if they add up in opposite phase, then the signal power will decrease. And hence, it results in a fluctuating SNR continuously, because the
Hello.
Yes, am I audible, Rajiv ji?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I think there is some internet problem from my side, so I have turned off my video. If you don't have any problem, maybe then it will work better.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm sharing again. Okay, so it's visible. The slides are visible.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I was discussing the different physical layer challenges. So because of the multi-path propagation, the channel is the channel characteristics are changing randomly and continuously, and hence the signal to noise ratio is invariant. And as I explained, the basic reason is multi-path propagation, which gives rise to the different Doppler shifts and time spreads.
सर स्क्रीन प्रॉपर शेयर नहीं है. Yes, sir. Now, अब correct है, sir.
Acha, okay. So now the problem is, since we all know that bit error rate is a function of SNR. So since the SNR is varying continuously, and so the bit error rate will vary continuously. At times when we have good SNR, the bit error rate will be low, and times when we have bad SNR or even worse SNR, the bit error rate may go very high. So we have dynamic conditions here in case of wireless transmission. And also in this case, UAV assisted communication, because of the high mobility, this will even become more worse. So then it means that we need to talk in terms of some kind of adaptive system according to the channel variations instead of a fixed system. Now, what is the difference between a fixed system and an adaptive system? So, as we discussed in the previous slide, that since the parameters are changing continuously, and we are focusing on SNR, signal to noise ratio, because that will uh, decide the current bit error rate value. So now if we are using a fixed kind of system, now what is meant by a fixed kind of system? If, for example, we fix our system with a particular modulation scheme and particular, say, for example, code rate. So usually we do two things. Okay, to the diagram shortly. Two things are usually done. One is you're doing the modulation, and another is forward error correction. So for forward error correction, the redundant bits are used for error detection and correction at the receiver side. And more than a number of redundant bits, better will be the error detection and correction capability. So for example, if we have a message of k bits and we are adding some redundant bits to them, say for example, m bits, so k plus m is equal to the code word, say of n bits. So the code word for each of the message word of n bits, the message itself is of k bits, and I said that let us say that m is the number of redundant bits. In that case, that ratio k by n is called as code rate. Okay. So code rate may be high, may be low. The code rate will be low when your number of redundant bits are more, because it is a k by n ratio. So in case of lower code rate, you will get better error detection and correction capability, and vice versa. Similarly, if we talk about modulation, so as we increase the constellation size, for example, if we talk about PSK, if we are using simple BPSK, one bit will be modulated at a time. If we are using QPSK, two bits will be modulated at a time. Similarly, 8 PSK means 3 bits will be modulated, 16, 32, 64, and so on. So as we increase the number of constellation size increase, so that means it will result in the increased data rate. So compare, say, for example, PSK or QPSK with 64 PSK. So if we are using PSK, we are transmitting 1 bit at a time. If we are using 64 PSK, we are transmitting 8 bits at a time. So the data rate will increase. Now we have increased the data rate, but at the same time, the system must be reliable also. So then we have to look at the bit error rate, and we have to maintain a certain bit error rate. So as I specified in the very beginning, that, for example, if it is data transmission, so we have to maintain minimum of 10 to the power minus 5 or minus 6, right? Now, what is the fixed system? Fixed system is simple the modulation. We took QPSK or BPSK or PSK or any modulation, but that will remain same throughout. Same is true with the forward error correction, right? That may be your linear clock code, that may be your convolutional code, right? So you can fix the code rate to any value, 7 by 2, 3 by 4, 2 by 3, and so on, right? So if you select any of these values in the forward error correction as well as in the modulation, it's a fixed system, right? Now the problem is that SNR is varying continuously. And what is the objective? Objective is to maintain the bit error rate for the reliability of the system. So if SNR goes below a certain required value, so the bit error rate will obviously will be high, and then you will not be able to maintain a certain bit error rate. But you cannot do anything. You are stuck now because your system is a fixed system. You can't do anything except for stopping the transmission. Because if you are transmitting the data, it is not reliable. And in communication, if data is not reliable, it is of no use. So that is why now we are going to talk in terms of designing an adaptive system. Okay. So adaptive system is a kind of system that in which we can change our modulation scheme as well as the coding scheme, error control coding scheme. Yes. So we need to design an adaptive system in which we can change the modulations as well as code rate according to the variations in the SNR. And what we have to keep in mind, we have to keep in mind the reliability of the system, that we need to do it for a certain given bit error rate. We have to maintain that bit error rate at all times. So usually for this, there are two types of techniques: adaptation versus prediction. So in prediction, what we do, we can do the things a priori based upon the historical data and the patterns. So it make the things easier comparatively. But the problem is if we go for predictive techniques, then we must know the patterns and we must have the historical data a priori in our hands. So this technique is good where the variations are less. But as we are discussing about the UAV assisted communication, so because of the mobility, the variations, channel variations are quite high. So that is why the predictive techniques are not very much useful in this case. And that is why in this case, we will be discussing adaptive techniques where the channel undergoes rapid and strong variations. So if we are applying adaptive techniques, it will enable the communication system to dynamically adjust its parameters or configuration based on the real-time channel state information. So what is this channel state information? This is nothing but the signal to noise ratio, the current SNR value. Now there are different approaches for this adaptation. This is also not scenario specific. Limitation is regular exchange of channel state information, that is SNR, is to be exchanged regularly. And since it is an adaptive system, so since we have to change the parameter continuously, so there is a need of increased energy consumption for energy constrained devices. So these are the limitations. Otherwise, it is very good for generalized scenarios. Then finally comes ML based, machine learning based models. So similar to the algorithm based and in contrast to the model based, it doesn't rely on channel modeling. Again, there is no manual intervention. Accuracy is very high and it can process vast amount of data quickly. So it is also very good, but the limitations are that for the purpose of training, we need large amount of high quality data, which should be very, very correct. Because if the data is not correct, training will not be correct, and hence the output may be meaningless. And also, since a lot of data is to be processed, so again, energy consumption is again an issue. So out of these three, I'm going to discuss the second one, that is algorithm based. in algorithm based, we don't need to process a large amount of data. It doesn't rely on channel modeling, no manual intervention. The only thing is that there is a need of regular exchange of channel state information that is signal to noise ratio. So here, if you see in this diagram, this diagram shows the OFDM transmission and reception. So the upper one is the transmitter side, and the lower one is the receiver side. So I don't think I need to go into the details of this OFDM. Most of us who are in communication side, all of us know it's OFDM. So I am directly coming to the adaptive system, right? So you can think of this OFDM, and from this only, I have extracted this part. So here you can see we have FEC, forward error correction, the third block after the data scrambler, and the constellation mapper, that is nothing but the modulator at the transmitter side. Similarly, at the receiver side, constellation demapper, that is demodulation, and the decoding of the forward error correction, right? So if it is usually convolutional codes or turbo codes are used. So if convolutional codes are used at the transmitter side with certain code rate, so here at the receiver side, the corresponding decoding algorithms, for example, Viterbi algorithm or sequential algorithm may be used for decoding purpose. So here I have drawn this diagram. So first is adaptive channel coding. That will take care about the error detection and correction. Adaptive modulation, that will take care about which modulation needs to be selected according to the given SNR value. Similarly, in the channel coding, here basically we are going to select the code rate as explained earlier, 1/2, 2/3, 3/4, and so on. Which code rate is suitable for the current SNR value. Similarly, in adaptive modulation, we will be selecting what type of modulation is suitable for the given SNR conditions. So here we can use any of the modulation scheme, right from BPSK to up to any order of modulation. Also, power adaptation can be done. Power adaptation, if power is high, then obviously the signal power will be good. But first thing is, because of the multipath transmission, the high power doesn't guarantee that the SNR will be high at all times. Secondly, higher power will lead to the interference to the other users. So here at the receiver side, channel estimation is done continuously. Channel estimation gives you the channel state information in terms of SNR, and then this current SNR value or channel state information is sent to the transmitter via this feedback channel. Okay, and then depending upon the current SNR value, the channel coding is set, the modulation parameters are set, and also the power level can be set. And at the receiver side, the corresponding demodulation and decoding scheme will be used. So that is the block diagram of adaptive system. Now let us see how it works actually. So that will be more clear from this table, in which I have shown the basic parameters and the data rate options. So in the right side, you can see if we are using OFDM, so there are 48 subcarriers. Total subcarriers are 52. 48 subcarriers are used for carrying data, and remaining 4 are used as pilot subcarriers for channel estimation. The subcarrier frequency spacing is around 156 kilohertz. The guard interval between the different subcarriers is 1.6 microsecond and so on. But the thing which is of our interest is this, the first table. Here you see we have listed 8 modulation schemes along with different code rates of convolutional codes. So that will result in different data rates. For example, if BPSK is used with coding rate 1/2, the data rate is 3 Mbps. Similarly, if BPSK is used with code rate 3/4, the data rate increases to 4.5 Mbps. Now, if QPSK is used with 1/2 code rate, the data rate increases to 6 Mbps. Similarly, if you come to 16 QAM, along with coding rate 3/4, the data rate increases to 18 Mbps. And finally, if you use 64 QM with 3/4 code rate, the data rate increases to 27 Mbps. So that this very clearly shows that by selecting the different modulation and coding rates, the data rate that can be achieved ranges from 3 Mbps to 27 Mbps. So there is a huge difference between if you use BPSK with 1/2 coding rate, and that gives 3 Mbps only. And when you use 64 QAM along with 3/4 coding rate, that gives you a 27 Mbps data rate. So that is the beauty of this, that if you use adaptive modulation and coding, you can get higher data rates. Yeah, maximum achievable data rate you can achieve for a given bit error rate. So here I'm going to present some preliminary results which have been implemented in this model. So here, if you see this table, we have used some SNR threshold values. So as told earlier, that everything is depending upon the SNR value. If SNR value is low, we will be using lower order modulation with high code rate. Because what is the ultimate objective? The ultimate objective is to make your system reliable, and the system will be reliable when it is able to maintain a certain bit error rate. So if SNR is, for example, is in worse condition, it is less than or equal to 5 dB, then in that case, BPSK is used along with 1/2 code rate, and we are getting the data rate of 3 Mbps. When now, as the SNR value increases, right? For example, when the SNR value is between 16 dB and 22 dB, we are using 16 QAM with 1/2 code rate, and the data rate increases from 3 Mbps to 12 Mbps. And finally, if SNR is very good, greater than or equal to 40 dB, we can use 64 QAM with 3/4 code rate, resulting in the data rate of 27 Mbps. So the idea is that we'll keep changing the modulation parameters, the code rate parameters, and the power levels to achieve the maximum data rate for a given bit error rate for making the system reliable. So these are some of the results. So the first result is bit error rate versus SNR over line upside channel, where you can see different. So this basically shows the implementation of a fixed system where different modulations with different code rates have been implemented. For example, BPSK with code rate 1/2, BPSK with code rate 3/4, QAM 16 QAM with different code rates, up to finally 64 QAM with code rate 3/4. So as obvious, BPSK with code rate 1/2 is going to give you the minimum bit error rate. So at very low SNRs, even in the range of 3 dB, you are getting a bit error rate of around 10 raised to the power minus 2, right? And at the same time, if you see at the same SNR, if you see 64 QAM, the bit error rate is very high, almost in the range of 10 raised to the power 0, right? And if you see around 20, 25, 22 dBs, so in that case, BPSK is having the bit error rate of 10 raised to the power minus 6, right? In contrast to 64 QM, which is around 10 raised to the power minus 5. Similarly, second result shows for a line-up side plus non-line-up side. So obviously one represents the Rayleigh channel, another represents the Riccian channel fading model. Now this is interesting result. Here the fixed system is compared with an adaptive modulation system. So here the black one representing the BPSK with 1/2 code rate, while the purple one is representing the adaptive modulation. So you can see very clearly that when we apply adaptive modulation and coding, in terms of bit error rate, it is giving results as close to the BPSK, right? Which was having the best bit error rate. So adaptive modulation and coding system, it ensures that you get the maximum bit error rate. You get the maximum data rate with minimum bit error rate. So these results are quite promising, adaptive modulation and coding, in comparison to the fixed system. Now, this system looks very good, but obviously there are some challenges in designing an adaptive system. And that too, when we talk about this your UAV assisted communication, because of the mobility. So here the channel estimation in air to ground, which we can say A to G, or air to air channel, is very challenging. So several significant open challenges exist in these channels, both air to ground and air to air channel. So obviously there is a need of more accurate channel models based on the real world observations. So here we need to consider the channel estimation are required to consider urban and rural locations as well as varied operational context. For example, different weather conditions. Secondly, since in 5G onwards, it is mostly millimeter wave communication. So A2A and A2G channel measuring and modeling adhering to higher millimeter wave over 100 gigahertz and even in terahertz frequency ranges are still in their very early stages. So a lot of work needs to be done for high frequency millimeter wave, and it is also very crucial to assess the transmission properties of higher millimeter wave in UAV communication and develop universal channel models for various situations. So there is a special requirement for precise UAV to UAV channel modeling, considering the channel time variation and the Doppler effect caused by the UAV mobility. So this is the biggest challenge in designing an adaptive modulation and coding system, to develop a channel model that closely resembles this A to G and A to A channel. Now, to talk about traditional channel estimation techniques, we have least square, MMSE, minimum mean square error, STA, that is spectral temporal averaging, CDP, constructed data pilot. These are some of the traditional channel estimation techniques. But these schemes are spectrally inefficient and unable to track the channel variations and multipath effects, especially in highly mobile scenarios. So there is a trade-off between the performance and computational complexity, and hence there is a trade-off between the complexity and the bit error rate performance. So here, apart from developing the models which resembles the actual scenario, we can also go for deep learning based channel estimation. So deep learning based communication system provides better solution in scenarios where modeling becomes very, very complex. So if we go for deep learning based channel estimation, so the appropriate selection of hyperparameters such as number of hidden units, learning rate, regularization, initialization strategies, etc., become very, very important. So here, if you see deep learning model, so large number of artificial neurons connected to each other in layers and functioning towards achieving the certain goal. So there are two stages: training stage and learning stage. Our training stage, our learning stage, and the testing stage. So a good amount of data and accurate data must be used at the training stage so that we get the correct output during the testing. So, and deep learning algorithms are based on an optimization algorithm which is called gradient descent. So this is how the deep learning based channel estimation can be used. It can be applied in the that OFDM block diagram at the place of estimator. So instead of using these channel estimation schemes, this deep learning based channel estimation can be used for getting the better results. So now here we have also implemented this DL based channel estimation, deep learning based, and compared with the traditional schemes. These are some of the parameters which are used for implementation. So now these are some of the results. So first is mean square error versus SNR for different number of layers, which I'm talking about here. Different number of hidden layers. So for 3 layers up to 7 layers, it was tested. So for 3 number of layers, and when the number of layer is increased, so we are getting the best results for L is equal to 5. When 5 layers were chosen, we are getting the best results. Then second and third results shows the accuracy and loss for different iterations. So from 1000 to 5000 iterations were done. Based on this, we are getting this accuracy in the training and testing. So both in training and testing, we are getting almost similar accuracy. Then these are the results of mean square error in the two different channels, line of sight and line of sight along with null line of sight. So here the different channel estimation techniques are used, and in our proposed deep learning based estimation, we are getting better results comparatively. So this was SNR versus mean square error. This is SNR versus bit error rate. So the proposed deep learning based channel estimation is providing much better results in comparison to the traditional schemes. So this can be used along with adaptive modulation and coding, and that will make the system much better. So although these are preliminary results, preliminary in terms of, because mostly we have used Rayleigh and Rayleigh fading. So the channel modeling, if it is deep learning based, it is fine. Otherwise, we have to model according to the scenario, specific scenario. Before going another track, so if you are further interested in these things, the first paper is about UAV assisted wireless communication in 6G and beyond era, which presents an extensive survey on characteristic, standardization, and regulations. Second and third paper is what results we have given here for adaptive modulation and coding and deep learning based channel estimation. Now we come to the second part of today's discussion. About the medium access control also. Am I audible? Because it is showing that your internet connection is unstable. Please let me know, am I audible or not? Can anyone be audible?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So, if we talk about the video access control, so we can divide the video control into three different classes. One is your channelization based. Your examples are the basic multiple access techniques, TDMA, FDMA, CDMA. That is channelization based. Also, nowadays, OFDM. So these are OMA techniques, orthogonal multiple access techniques. So, channelization based techniques, if you talk about any of these techniques, which is TDMA, FDMA, CDMA, whatever. So there is always a challenge of accommodating the number of devices or number of users. In any of the orthogonal multiple access scheme, there is an upper limit of the number of users that can be accommodated. Second thing is the utilization of the resources is not very good. So, in the simplest way, if you talk about DMA, so simply we give different time slots to different users. Or if we talk about FDMA, we give different frequency slots to different users. But the thing is that we all know that it is not like that everybody is using the channel for any purpose, for sending data or for sending audio signal at all times. You don't use your phone at all times. For example, since last 1 hour, I'm not using my phone. So it is almost idle. So there is a huge wastage of resources in channelization-based schemes, where you assign the resources based upon either it is time sharing, or frequency sharing, or code sharing. So that is the disadvantage of channelization-based scheme. But yes, advantage is once you have given the resources to different users, there is no chance of interference or collision. So no collision, but at the case at the cost of wastage of resources, and especially in today's era, it becomes very important, especially in IoT, Internet of Things. So that is why the second category is contention-based MAC, medium access control, or we also call these protocols as random access protocols. So here, considering the huge number of devices, the contention-based medium access becomes very promising because they can accommodate huge number of devices because there is no a priori this sharing of resources. Anyone can anyone start using the channel or accessing the channel depending upon the requirement. So, the basic contention based your medium access control protocols, if I give you the examples, CSMA is one example which leads to IEEE 802.11, that is wireless LAN. I'm not talking about Aloha or CSMA because that is basically for wired transmission. So CSMA is basic contention based random access control protocol. Then here, if you talk about advantages and disadvantages, advantages now very clear that the better utilization of resources, because uh, if if we talk about contention window size, so once the contention window period is over, which comes from the binary exponential backoff, then only the user is allowed to transmit, right? Now, if the traffic load is not very high, the traffic load is low, then in that case, contention window size can be reduced, right? And if the traffic load is high, in that case, we need to increase the contention window. So similar to adaptive modulation and coding, the medium access control can also be made adaptive, especially in terms of the size of the contention window. So if contention window decreases, the packet collision chances will increase. And if contention window increases, so the backoff time will increase and hence it will result in the loss of the throughput. So these are the some basic things which I tried to cover here, some physical layer things and some this medium access control. And these are the references which I have used for this discussion. So this is all from my side. Thank you. And now I am open to questions from your side. Is there any question? Okay, so see, the data is specific to the scenario, and accordingly, nowadays different sites are available for getting the data. You can generate your own data as per the requirement, because you see this is different from the those applications where we do image or video processing or some health related applications. So here the data is not that critical, right? So data is easily available in case of normal communication.
Hello. Sir, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Hello.
Please, please.
While
go
doing
ahead.
the research, what kind of channel model you consider for communication of UAV?
See, right now we have used that one is Russian, another is Relay. But while considering that channel estimation, then we used deep learning based channel estimation. So instead of using any specific channel model, we used deep learning where we trained the data according to the scenario and then generated the CSI, channel state information. Otherwise, while using the traditional channel estimation techniques, then we used relay and Russian fading. So other fadings can also be tested. There are so many channels, gamma gamma distribution, for example.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. And I have also given my email, which is arun@mnnit.ac.in. If you further want to discuss anything or communicate anything, so you can mail me where I can give you more things related to the implementation and other, say, literatures.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Can you repeat, please? Okay. Rotor rotation means you are talking about that UAV. See, forget about rotor rotation. If it is a wireless transmission, there is already a lot of disturbance. So even if rotor creates some disturbance, no problem at all, because yeah, a lot of processing is being done at the receiver side. So that will cope up this disturbance also. So, this UAV, because of the mobility, the signal fluctuation will be very high already. So I have no hesitation to say that theoretically the things looks very, very easy and good. But when it comes to real implementation and getting the real results, it is really difficult to get the good results, because the things are highly dynamic. Okay. So challenges in OFDM, so I have already discussed, right? In OFDM, if you talk about the OFDM, so that is a kind of fixed system. So that is what I discussed today. So we need to talk about a kind of adaptive system that adapts to the things according to the requirement. And as far as NOMA is concerned, not orthogonal multiple access. So the first thing which is very crucial is the power requirement. You have to generate signals of different powers. So your transmitter must be capable enough to generate different power signals. First thing. And second, at the receiver, that SIC must be very, very accurate. That regenerates the signal at the receiver side. Okay. Ji. It is very motivating that even at 9 p.m. people are interestingly listening and asking the questions. That is really nice to know. अरुण सर, आपने 9 बजे भी जगा रखा है सबको.
नहीं नहीं, अच्छा है, मतलब लोग सुनने के लिए, इसका मतलब अच्छे लोगों को सुनने के लिए लोग देखते हैं. सबसे अच्छे तुम्हारे बच्चे हैं कि इतनी देर तक एक्टिव होकर पार्टिसिपेशन दे रहे हैं.
जी जी जी, बिल्कुल सर.
क्योंकि 2 दिन से मैं बाहर था, अब केवल मैं ऑनलाइन कनेक्ट हो रहा हूँ. वो बच्चे वहां पे बैठ के पूरा उसको कर रहे हैं.
जी जी जी.
आई थिंक Professor Arun has covered the topic, which is important for the UAV design, and what are the challenges when we design the channel or any modeling of the UAV in communication. Yesterday, the Professor Akshar Rathore has covered the power requirement and how we can maximize it was covered. That was also a very nice lecture. I also learned much from the Akshar Rathore sir and today's lecture of Arunji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I think tomorrow I invited the persons from the industry, and in the next days there is a pure technical session from the Manish Tiwari sir for the how the filter is designing for such systems.
Yes, that will be very interesting session.
That will be very interesting session. So all the participants and sincere participants are requested to join on time because I start the session on time. It is my hobby that I do not want to late the session. So it is overall a nice session from the Arun sir, and hope that we will invite him in physical form at REC Kannauj.
Sure, sir. I'm because of some you have already invited, so the fault is from my side only.
No, Manish sir has managed somehow, but you are not managing.
No. This time I will come,
From my
sir.
side.
Definitely come.
Okay.
Ji.
So we can once again thank you, Dr. Arun, and
Thank you, sir.
all the
Thank you.
participants for their sincere participation in the FDP. So we can close because it is already 8:50, and hope
ठीक है,
that
sir.
ठीक है बहुत अच्छा.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sir, very nice session, sir.
इसमें बहुत साउथ इंडिया से बहुत
Thank you.
लोग हैं जो कि सिंसियरली पार्टिसिपेट कर रहे हैं. इसमें अच्छा है.
Yes, sir.
जी.
ठीक है. फिर हम आज का सेशन हम लोग क्लोज करते हैं. मेहंदा आपको कुछ वो करना है तो आप क्लोज कर दो.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so we can now close the today's session, and okay, thank you.